Today I want to demonstrate for you the rock and roll technique, which is a fun technique you can do with your stamps and two different color ink pads. So let's get started. First I'm going to work on my card base before I get to the rock and roll stamped image. So I have some basic gray cardstock and I'm just going to stamp with basic gray ink this bold flower image from Stampin' Up's Friends Never Fade stamp set. So by stamping the same color ink on the same color cardstock, it gives you a subtle background look. So I'm just going to do maybe about 4 of them there. Okay? Now I'm going to clean my stamp because I'm going to use this same stamp for the rock and roll technique. So I'm just going to stamp off on my scratch paper to get the gray ink off and the residue off from my stamp cleaner. So now for the rock and roll technique, you just need 2 colors, a light color and a little bit of a darker color. So for this I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, which is a yellow, and this is Rose Red, which is like it says, rose red color. So first you're going to ink up your bold image in the light color first, and I'm just going to ink the whole thing up so it's all completely yellow. And then before I stamp, now this is where the rolling comes, I'm going to roll my stamp in the red just so that the tips touch. And this will now give my stamp a 2-tone color effect. So now I'm going to stamp that on some white cardstock. And you can see what that looks like. So play around with this with different colors and you'll get many different looks. So now with that image, I'm going to cut this out. Now I'm going to adhere that with dimensionals right about here on my card. But before I do that, I want to stamp my sentiment on here and I'm going to emboss it. So I'm using this Priceless sentiment from the Priceless stamp set from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use some Versamark ink. And I've already stamped this on my Stamp-A-Majig template here. So I'm going to place my sentiment right about here near the bottom. Use my jig, hold it down, move that out of the way, and then stamp. Okay, so that gets it where I want it. And then I'm going to pour some silver embossing powder over that. Okay, and now I'm going to heat emboss that with my heat gun. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere my rock and roll image with some dimensionals. And I'm going to add that right about here. So I hope you enjoyed that card and this tutorial on the rock and roll technique. I hope you try it out and have fun. Happy stamping. See you next time. Bye-bye.